悪霊退散.
The story of Mortal Kombat 1 was very, very good until it was not. For the majority of the story, they did an incredible job developing many of their characters to perfection. Characters who have never had real development in past Mortal Kombat games like Kenshi, Mileena, Johnny Cage. Watching Johnny Cage and Kenshi begin the story trying to kill each other over Kenshi's blade and then slowly growing to respect each other was one of the best arcs in the story. The sword symbolizing Johnny Cage's selfishness, but as the story progresses, you see that Johnny starts to respect the others and realize that money isn't the ultimate goal, which leads him to giving the sword to Kenshi. Another amazing arc that was ruined by the ending is Mileena. Watching Mileena's transformation throughout the story was excellent. The decision to make Mileena a human and be infected with a disease was amazing, because instead of us viewing her as like a monster clone hybrid that was created in a dungeon by Shang Tsung, now she's a real person with goals, with aspirations, with desires. Now, instead of her trying to steal what isn't hers, now it's hers and she's losing it. You can see it slipping through her fingers, and the fact that it's out of her control. Every time she shows real emotion, the disease just takes more control over her. You really just feel for the character, and watching them suffer like this it's suffering. It does a good job of adding so much more to Mileena. In my opinion, her arc was the best in the entire story, but the way that it was thrown out and rendered useless by the third arc of the story is truly disappointing. In Mortal Kombat 1, they spent like 4 hours establishing all of these characters. Some better than others, yes, but they still wanted us to be invested in their story. Shao Kahn thirst for power, trying to overthrow Sindel. Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, the deadly alliance emerging. Quan Chi kind of going against the plan and creating Ermac. Ermac is this unstoppable force. His transformation to becoming the good guy was so ridiculous. I want to talk about that in another video, because in my opinion, when you're talking about the character development, that is the worst one by far. Every other character improved and only got better, but that change with Ermac was horrible. But as soon as they dropped the multiverse garbage on us with Shang Tsung's reveal being from the old timeline, everything was ruined. It's strange because Mortal Kombat 11 was hated because of the time travel manipulation. Kronika constantly resetting the timeline and doing this and doing that. It was too much for most players to believe. Seeing them reset the universe once again after doing it like 3-4 times was ridiculous. But this time around, we were like, okay, maybe this will lead to somewhere great. They're starting off with the original Kung Lao, so they'll be able to tell the story from scratch. Now, keep in mind, they kind of got rid of all of that. What happened to the original Kung Lao? And them doing that kind of makes me feel like they are just winging it at this point. They're just making these decisions in one game, and in the next game, they're getting rid of it. Kind of like what they did with Dark Raiden. He was set up to be this great thing, and then boom, got rid of it. Kind of like what they did with Revenant, Liu Kang, and Kitana. They were set up to be this great thing, boom, got rid of it. Same thing with the original Kung Lao. At this point, this cliffhanger, then throwing it away in the next game, it has to be intentional, because they're doing this so repeatedly. Once, twice, yeah, maybe bad writing, but now it seems like this is just the style of writing that they're going with, and it's really, really bad. So the fact that they created a really good story in Mortal Kombat 1 and then they derailed it all again to redo the mistakes of Mortal Kombat 11 is tragic. Now here's where the story gets even more ridiculous. They introduced the concept of the multiverse to us. All of the character development that was set up in the beginning, pause, get it out of here, and they simply start focusing on the multiverse. So basically what it does is the ending that was set in Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, the DLC story, where both Liu Kang and Shang Tsung have their endings, it basically makes both of those canon. When the universe is reset, it actually breaks and it creates many universes, the multiverse. And this is horrible. I don't know why Mortal Kombat did this. They should have learned the lesson from Marvel or from DC. So many different shows and movies and series are messing around with the multiverse, and so far none of them has got it right. None of them. So the fact that Mortal Kombat sees all of this and it's like, yeah, we'll do the multiverse too. It's like, it's so stupid. You had a excellent story going on here, and all you had to do was tell the last 40 minutes of that story, but instead you wanted to introduce the multiverse, which ruins all sense of character development. Melina, a character whose story I was really invested in, who cares? Because there's now a million Melinas out there who's either going through the same thing or already went through it. It's no longer about the one character, it's now about many characters. And this is why multiverse never works, is because it ruins all sense of tension. Who cares if Liu Kang dies? There's another one who's just as powerful, ready to take his place. And they actually show you that in the final story. After you skip past all of the battle and stuff, you get to choose your character. They have this big callback to Armageddon, which in theory is supposed to be really cool, but it's just not. To show you how meaningless all of these characters are now, we're following Liu Kang, but then another Liu Kang shows up and we stop following the main one to follow this random second Liu Kang. And this is just absolutely trash. Why would they have you stop following the character we've been following this entire time to follow some other clone? I don't understand it. Having this mishmash combination of all of these different versions of characters, it seems like something a kid would do, fanfic or something. What's cool about a character is that a character is the character. They have their personality, they have their abilities, they have this, they have that, and then that's it, right? They may learn something, they may do this, but when you just take all of this stuff and just mix and mash it, it's just horrible in terms of development, because not only do all of the characters not matter at that point, but then also it's like their powers don't matter. Nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters. The fact that everyone got so upset in Mortal Kombat 11 when they started messing around with time travel and resetting the universe, and then for them to do it all again, double, triple down with this multiverse crap, is just crazy. Why would they do that? They had a excellent story. It's like they wanted you to be upset. They restart everything. They told a excellent story with excellent character development just to get rid of all of that and dump the multiverse back on you like in the final chapter. I will never understand why they went this path, because it really feels like instead of telling a new story with new characters and new development, it feels like this is just DLC for DLC of Mortal Kombat 11 at this point. It really feels like you just went backwards and all of the development doesn't matter. I don't know why they did this. I cannot explain it, but it is horrible. The way that the story ends with this weird Havoc hybrid character, I'm no longer interested. The story that they were telling was so much more better, and then they just dumped all this trash on us, and then they want us to care about this Havoc guy. Why would we care about this Havoc guy when there's many other universes out there? Really, it's just like, how does this end? You introduce the multiverse, an infinite amount of universes, an infinite amount of characters. How does this all end? You mixed up everyone's abilities, you mixed up everyone's identities, and now it's all is kind of meaningless. In my opinion, if they wanted to introduce a greater power besides just Liu Kang and Shang Tsung and all of this stuff, one universe, what I think they should have did was the character Kronika should have been another Titan. Instead of it being Shang Tsung and introducing the multiverse, they should have stuck to what they were teasing at the and characters endings of Mortal Kombat 11, and they should have made it another Titan, maybe the Titan of space or something like that, dark matter, I don't know, but it should have been a Titan who wanted revenge, or maybe to take the power that Liu Kang has. That way, you wouldn't have this multiverse. All of the character development that you established would still matter, but then also you would expand upon this idea of Titans and this higher power. You can still have Liu Kang struggle with the idea of, should he be just a normal god, or should he be the Titan of time? You can have these larger forces be introduced, and if you really want Havoc to be the main guy, then you can work in some way, somehow, where Havoc maybe steals the power of the Titan. You have Liu Kang be the Titan of time, Havoc be the Titan of space or something. If they really wanted to go this route, there's better ways to do it than introducing the multiverse. The multiverse is worthless.